Hey everyone, my name is Charlie, and today I have a book haul for you. This is my first book haul in an extraordinarily long amount of time, and I must say that whilst there are 3 books in here that I have acquired since I last recorded a haul, which I believe was in March or April, the majority of these books were actually purchased this month, and the majority of the books purchased this month were actually purchased within the last few days. Yes, it is incredibly dark in my bedroom at the moment. I have got the curtains shut because there seems to be somebody stood there. Shall we see if they're still there? I actually think they've disappeared for now, but that has done nothing about our light situation. Instead, all it's done is reveal the sun to me. Anyway, the first book that I actually purchased with my own money, I'm doing this there's a category sort of thing going on here, was Mirror Magic by Claire Fairs. Now, I'd done a bunny read. I'd not read any bunnies. I did a buddy read with Anthony of Anthony Andrews. I did a buddy read with Liz of Liz Schubert, and my friend Lily got in touch with me. She's like, "We're both on YouTube. We're both booktubing. We should be doing a buddy read." And I thought, well, after the death of my grandmother, I didn't necessarily want to be working on my secret project for reasons related to that. So I chose to go back to the children's book because I had this creative energy within me, and so I decided I wanted to read some children's fiction. And Lily is the friend that I go to whenever I want to know about what's going on in children's literature. If you ever want recommendations of good children's literature, then do go over to Lily's channel. She is one of 4 people that I have shared the children's book with in its original entity, and she is one of the people who will get in to see the redraft when it eventually happens. So, we chose 2 books, the first being Mirror Magic by Claire Fairs, and this is set in the town of Wise, which is the only magical town left in Britain, and it's connected to Unwise, and this girl called Ava has had to come back to this town. Her father used to live here, her father was a conjurer, and they're in touch with this fairy world, Unwise, and there is a darker secret going on between the 2 worlds that Ava happens to discover when she meets one of these people through the mirror called Howl. Now, there is some humour in this book, there is some adventure, but whilst I did enjoy it, it's definitely not the best children's book that I've read, and I think Lily has a much better review of it than I do. I did enjoy it, and I will probably be keeping it, but more thinking of giving it to my nephew in the future than ever rereading it. But I think it's a good book for children, definitely, just not for me. Next is a book that both Lily and I agreed on that we thought was brilliant, and that is The Stormkeeper's Island by Catherine Doyle. I absolutely adored this book. Fionn and his sister have been sent to Arranmore Island to stay with their grandfather for the summer. Their grandfather is the Stormkeeper of the island, and there is a lot linked in here to Celtic mythology and different forms of magic, and it doesn't bring in it doesn't try and make it too modern, it sticks it in this world. I'm trying not to spoil it here. But this book was fantastic. This book made me want to read all of the sequels that are coming out. I could probably do an entire review of this book, but basically, soon a new Stormkeeper is going to arrive, and Fionn is having visions of the past through the use of candles. There is extraordinary magic in here, and the fact that it's just accepted, it doesn't need to be explained, was something that I wholeheartedly agreed with and really enveloped me in this world. And yeah, I might do a full review of that because I'm aware I'm short of time. Anyway, next. This is a book that Lily sent me because I didn't have a copy. She had 2 copies and she's a good friend like that. And it's Podkin One by Kieran Larwood, and this is going to be our next buddy read, which we are going to be starting tomorrow on the 1st of August. And this follows... I'm sure it's a rabbit. Is it not a rabbit? I'm sure it's a rabbit. he looks like a rabbit anyway. It seems to have fantasy, adventure, and there is a villain on the rampage that Podkin must protect them all from. So I'll let you know about that. Looking forward to bloody reading it. And then I went into Waterstones on my birthday and I got 2 books for the buy one get one half price. I got The House with Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson, which is a book that I am rather interested in. And basically, I understand that it follows Russian fairy tales and brings them into this world, but I have absolutely nothing more than that, other than the fact it had Baba Yaga in it, or Baba Yaga, I don't know how you say it, but basically I was influenced by a love of Bartok the Magnificent as a child. Then we have Sky Song by Abby Elphinstone. My friend Lily really enjoyed this book, so she's already read it, and it's a Snow Kingdom, there's an evil ice queen, there's a fox, so I'm really looking forward to this one. Sorry, we'll push for time, we're going quickly now, we've done 6 minutes and we've talked about books, we've mildly reviewed them rather than actually, thingy. So next, we've got 3 books that I got from the Willoughby Book Club that my father bought me last Christmas after, taking on Lauren and the books, always talking about it. She's an affiliate, go over to her channel, all that fun stuff. Anyway, first, we've got The Princess Bride by William Goldman. I know nothing about this book. I know that I'm pretty sure the guy who was in Criminal Minds was in the film version of this. It says it was a cult classic film, so we'll see whether I enjoy it. Next, we have Death and the Penguin, which is about a guy who has a pet penguin. Then we have After the Crash by Michel Bussy. I read this book. This book follows the story of a girl who was the only survivor of a plane crash 18 years ago. Now they've realised something, who her family really are, because one family claimed her, but the other families always thought she was theirs. And basically, I've kept it because I want to do a wrap-up of all these books back in December, but I wasn't a big fan. Then my friend Lizzie got me a copy of Stitch, the manga by Yumi Tsukilino, and I didn't get on with this, but you don't need to know that. Basically, it follows Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, except this time he ends up in Japan. He gets a new friend, Yuna, who basically tells him that if he does 40-something good deeds, then he will be able to make a wish on this stone, and he wants to wish on this stone to become the strongest thing in the universe. I didn't get on with it, but I'm pretty sure some children would. Now, we got onto the charity shop books. These charity shop books are actually books that I went into the shop, and I was just there by the books and I saw this book, The Wicked Cometh by Laura Carlin. This book I've been interested in since I first saw that it was announced. I have no idea what it's about. I don't know if it's crime, I don't know whether it's mystery, but it had an exceptional cover, the title caught me, and it's just got the amount of intrigue in there to say that this is about a character called Hester White, another one called Rebecca Brock, and they're going to be pursuing truth, redemption and passion in the depraved city of London. I saw that in a bag and I thought, well, let's go through this bag. And there were all these next books in it. And I went straight to my manager and said, can I buy all these books off you? Because I have been interested in all these books. I actually wondered whether there was a booktuber in Poynton who'd found out where I worked and was just trying to be kind to me. Or whether I actually went to her and said that I think that someone might not have wanted to donate these, so if anyone comes back, then just say, and we'll... yeah. Anyway, first we have English Animals by Laura Kay. Everybody and their mother has been talking about this book on BookTube for the last 2 years nearly, and so everyone knows what it's about. But I've been interested since I found out that it did explore taxidermy in some way, and ever since I read Furiously Happy, that's been something I've been interested in, so we're going to be reading this. Next we have The Vanishing by Sophia Tobin. Now this book I didn't know anything about, but I didn't feel comfortable leaving one book behind, so I ended up getting it. This is set on the Yorkshire Moors, somewhere called White Windows, and it reminded me, from the blurb, of Wuthering Heights. I don't like Wuthering Heights, I don't get on with Wuthering Heights, but we'll see what this book is like. Next, we have Whistle in the Dark by Emma Healy. I have no idea what this book is about, except the fact that this was a signed copy. Someone's daughter has gone missing, their mother, someone won't talk about it, something's case is closed, and someone knows what happened. Basically, it's a new book and it came into my shop, so I thought, I'm gonna have it. Then we got the one that I was really interested in, The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. A few people are reading this month. A few people have said it was like The Little Stranger. It follows a character of Elsie who is sent to her late husband's crumbling country estate. Okay, so basically, it's going to be a bit gothic in it. It's going to either terrify me, it's going to do something. Maybe we'll save it for autumn. I don't know. Then, this book I was really happy to see, and it's The Illumination of Ursula Flight by Anna Marie Crowhurst. And it's been described as a 17th century coming-of-age novel on the back. But I know nothing about this book, but I really like the cover, and the cover drew me in, and the way the book is designed drew me in, and it was just the first line that got me, so let me find the first line. The first line. This book is set out a bit like a older novel. But yes, the first line was, on the 15th day of December in the year of our Lord 1664, a great light bloomed in the dark sky and crept slowly and silently across the blackness. A comet. And that hooked me, and I thought, hopefully it's going to be one of those books that I really enjoy, because if it isn't, I might just sob me little heart out. And we're nearly there, folks, we're nearly there. And then yesterday, I went to work. It's kind of a common occurrence, this. And they had Almy by Fiona Mosley. So I bought that. It was shortlisted for the book of last year, and I basically got it because it's set in the north of England. I'm worried it's going to be a bit like My Absolute Darling from last year that I ended up giving away, and so we'll see. And then I got the first Blandings novel by P.G. Wodehouse, Something Fresh. It's set in Blandings, which I think they made a TV show out of, and I got it because people have said that the Our Doris books reminded them a tiny little bit of P.G. Wodehouse, so I thought, let's have a look, let's see, we'll go with that. Them's the books. This is the first book haul we've done in a long while. We don't think we necessarily did that well at it, and we think we kind of have a Catch a Predator thing going on at the moment. But anyway, if you've read any of these books, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments. And, of course, only if they're spoiler free. And I hope that I got something out of this video. Until next time, that is all. I'm a mildly terrible person because throughout the entirety of recording that video, I kept thinking, don't forget one book. Don't forget one book. I mean, so instead, I forgot two books. The first book I forgot is Driven by Dane Cobain. Now, it annoys me that I forgot to mention this book because Dane has been quite supportive of Our Doris and Indisputably Doris. So here's his book. This is the first book in the Lightfold series. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think the characters of Lightfold and Miley are brilliant additions to the crime genre, and this is for fans of the golden age of crime that want to see it set in a more modern age, which is exactly what Dane does, bringing it to modern day London and giving us a more modern locked room mystery. This story follows the death of Donna Thompson, who is killed by an autonomous car. It had no driver in it, so who just programmed it to kill her? Thoroughly enjoyable and heartily recommended. And I can only offer my apologies that I forgot to mention it. The second book that I forgot to mention was History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. I don't need to show that book, you know my thoughts. So, anyway, that should be the end of that video. Until next time, I'm hoping that's all.